The movie begins with a narrator who is acting as the modern-day fairy godmother. She introduces Lauren, Dhruva, and Christabel, who are in Rome to shake up their dating lives and also be the star of their very own romantic comedy. They meet each other in front of a waterfall somewhere in town. Excited to meet, they introduce themselves to each other. Each day, the leading ladies receive a script that guides them to their next location, where they just happen to bump into good-looking strangers who have been pre-selected for them. However, after the arranged meetings, the rest is up to the ladies. The ladies are excited to start their journey in the city of Italy. They get into a car that comes to pick them up. The scenery of Rome is amazing, and they are already loving every bit of it. The ladies arrive at the villa, but can't stop gushing at the beauty of the building. They take a look around the villa and stumble upon a script meant for each of them. They read through in excitement as they can't wait to set sail on the Italian adventure of their lifetime. Dhruva is ready to choose love on her terms, no matter what her traditional family thinks about it. Christabel is a free-spirited person who is looking for a partner willing to fan her flames instead of snuffing them out. Lauren, on the other hand, has conquered the finance world, but has yet to conquer her love life. In a few minutes, they change into different costumes for a boat cruise. The ladies walk beautifully down the dockyard until they arrive where Lorenzo awaits. The captain welcomes the ladies and introduces himself. He ushers them in and ensures they are comfortable before going to sail. While the boat is in motion, Dhruva shares that she's been single for 7 years, and her sister got married the previous weekend, even though her sister is 4 years younger than she is. Dhruva believes it's time to try something new regarding this whole relationship thing. Lauren reveals that in her case, her career has always come first. She made history in New York by becoming the youngest trader at the New York Stock Exchange. Dating has never been a priority for her, but currently, she believes she's ready for love, which is why she's willing to focus on not spending all her time in Italy on her phone. Krista shares that her case is quite similar to Lauren's, as she has been working since she was 8 years old, so she has been very independent for a long time. But she thinks it's time to make some space for a man to come into her life. Krista has been on TV since she was a kid, and she has done a bunch of different projects. People know her mostly for the rom-com 13 Going 30. Dhruva exclaims as she now understands why she looks so familiar. Nicola interrupts the ladies' session. He greets them warmly with a kiss on each person's hand. Lorenzo comes to join them, and he requests to go show the ladies a boat bridge, while Nicola requests to talk with Dhruva. The other ladies follow Lorenzo to the other side, and in the middle of their conversation, Lauren receives a phone call. She excuses herself to go answer the call while Lorenzo continues chatting with Krista. Dhruva and Nicola talk about work, kids, and family. Nicola reveals that he's been single for 4 years now. Krista is fascinated by the tattoos on Lorenzo's skin. He offers to show her what the Capri Lighthouse looks like in reality other than on his skin. Lorenzo shows her how to control the boat, while Lauren walks all around in search of reception on her phone. The next morning, Dhruva shows Lauren a photo of Nicola, and the ladies are laughing, while suggesting how to start up the conversation on the phone with him. Krista joins them carrying a tray containing their breakfast and their next script. They read their scripts, and the girls are more on Lauren's neck because she wouldn't get off her phone and focus on the purpose of their visit. Soon after, they each prepare to set out for their dates at different locations. Lauren at a local cafe, Krista on the Angulara fountain, and Dhruva at a pizza. Lauren arrives at the cafe, not knowing what to order. Alessandro suggests she try out their espresso. He introduces himself and mentions that he's a tourist guide. Before long, they start chatting, and it seems there's a connection between them. He asks her to go on a walk with him, to which Lauren obliges. The modern-day fairy godmother intends to make Dhruva face dating anxiety head-on. In a bid to help her break her 7-year relationship dry spell, Dhruva arrives at the piazza and spots the red scooter exactly as described in her script. She walks over to the scooter, and the voice of a gentleman sitting not too far off requests to know if she likes his scooter. He invites her to join him at the table and introduces himself as Chris. He offers her a seat, and they soon start discussing why they are in Rome, where they are from, and other things. Chris reveals he's partly Indian because his mom is partly Indian and Vietnamese, while his dad is European. Dhruva likes the mix of his origin, and she playfully boasts about being 100% Indian. She shares more about herself and her sister's just concluded wedding, as well as the pressure on her from her parents, being that she's the oldest sister. The duo seems to be hitting it off on the right track, as they decide to try eating a piece of spaghetti, just as in the animation, The Lady and the Tramp. While Dhruva enjoys her movie magic moment, Christabel is about to drink in one spectacular view as she arrives at the mountain. She admires the scenery and decides to do some journaling when she suddenly spots a young man drinking directly from the fountain. She wonders why he's drinking the water. He invites her over to join him. The both of them take a drink at the same time. Krista confesses that the water is really good. He teases her about them falling in love after drinking from the same fountain at the same time. He goes ahead to introduce himself as Brandon, while Krista laughs at his statement, and the both of them continue chatting the rest of the time. Lauren wanders the cobblestone path with Alessandro as her espresso kicks in. He shows her around the Italian architectural designs and teaches her a few things in Italiano. He requests to have a date with her to enjoy the sweet life of Rome. She blushes and accepts to go on a date with him. Brandon and Krista are taking a walk around as well. He reveals that he's a partner in 2 restaurants in Toronto. She shares a few things about herself as she gets to find out some more interesting things about him. He makes her laugh, and she loves it so much. He asks that they hang out some other time. Dhruva, on the other hand, gets excited as she hops on Chris's Vespa. She puts on her helmet and holds on to him as he drives them off. The ladies get back home before it gets dark, and they are all excited they get to spend time together. Dhruva reveals that her birthday is coming up the following week, and she will be turning 35. They share a bottle of wine as they sit on the floor discussing their lives and how wrapped up they have been when it comes to love. They share their worries and fears about accepting to be loved and trusting someone else to lead. They make a toast to finding love in Rome and hope there will be no more heartbreaks. Day 3 comes, and the script for the day will be sending the ladies on a journey to an enchanting art class. Arrangements have been made for a few handsome men to help them out with hands-on experience. The ladies walk into the art class feeling artistically inspired, especially with the presence of the male figures. The lady in charge splits them up and pairs Lauren with Ethos, Christabel with Miles, and Dhruva with Christian. She gives them a task to draw each other and walks away, allowing them to mingle and sketch. Dhruva and Lauren seem to be enjoying the company of their partner. Their vibes are hitting off quite well, while Christabel and her partner Miles aren't really flowing. Miles has literally no idea about all the things that Christabel finds to be interesting. He doesn't like pets, doesn't know about Titanic because he thinks it's an old movie. Worst of all, he's not interested in having kids. Christabel blurts out that they are not compatible. The others are having fun and enjoying the activity they are engaged with. Lauren and Ethos laugh heartily at each other's drawings after they complete their work. He requests to keep in touch with her if she's fine with it. At the same time, Dhruva is all smiles. She confesses that she likes Christian, who already loves her, especially her outlook on life. The duo share a kiss and agree to meet up some other time. Later, Dhruva and Lauren hang out at a cafe. They love the pastries in the store, so they place an order for a little bit of everything. Taking their order outside to enjoy the pizza, Lauren requests to know how Dhruva feels about turning 35. Derva confesses that she's not exactly everything she thought she'd be when she was younger, but she's excited about Rome. She feels emotional and begins to cry. She shares how her mom stopped talking to her after her younger sister's marriage. Her family puts her under pressure simply because she's older and still unmarried. And now she feels like her birthday is a reminder of how long she has been single. Lauren advises her to make decisions that are right for her. She cheers her up. After all, she is in Rome with the hopes of finding love and having fun on her own terms. The journey is proving to be quite a challenging one for the ladies, but then it's all about breaking old patterns and making deeper connections. On the fourth day, Cristobal meets up with Captain Lorenzo at the interior of Central Montemartini Museum on a second date. She gets to have another chance to see if their initial attraction is more than what's on the surface. They converse as they check out the different sculptures in the museum. When asked, Cristobal reveals that she doesn't really have a physical type. For her, it's all about a spirit, which is something that must be discovered. She confesses that she loves Italian culture, and she seeks to know what he's looking for. She throws several questions at him in a bid to know if they have anything in common. She likes the fact that he's very traditional already. Towards evening, Lorenzo walks her back to the villa where she's staying, and she confesses that she had a really nice time with him. Just like her, Lorenzo had a great day and admits she's an amazing person to be with. The both of them stare at each other smiling and staring at each other lovingly. He pulls her close to himself and kisses her lips passionately. Halfway through the Italian escapade, the ladies are enjoying the sights and all the carbs. But then, Lauren is still all about work and no play, and now it's time for her to face what she's been missing. Lauren is focused on her phone while walking along the street. She suddenly bumps into a young guy who turns out to be Alessandro. They are excited to see each other again. Alessandro believes it is a sign of destiny. Lauren ends up getting lost in modern-day Rome with Alessandro, while Cristobal and Druva take a step into the past to see what skills their suitors can bring to the arena. They meet up with Brandon and Chris, and together they head to the gladiator school to watch the men fight each other with hopes of seeing them shirtless. Alessandro takes Lauren to one of his favorite places in town. He feels attracted to her, and he pulls her close for a kiss. The following day in the kitchen, Cristobal confesses to Lauren that it feels good to crush on someone. She hasn't had a crush in a very long time. She shares her thoughts about Brandon, who seems really cool, kind, and chivalrous. But then with Lorenzo, she's not sure of what she'll get as he's into growing his boat business. He feels like a whirlwind of energy in a kind, fun, and irreverent way. She feels like she is open again to dating and interacting with men. They begin juicing out the oranges, and Lauren wonders if Cristobal believes in true love. Cristobal reveals that she was once engaged, and they broke it off like 3 years ago, and since then, she's been finding it hard to connect with anyone else. Lauren understands how she feels because she was also once in a serious relationship. She knows how it feels to learn how to navigate her way forward or find love again. Lauren encourages Cristobal, and Derva suddenly comes bearing the new scripts. The day's scripts require them to explore the city and do some sightseeing. While the ladies are taking in all the beauty of the scenery and having fun, Lauren sends a text inviting Ethos to their place for a cooking class. He honors her invitation and shows up at the expected time. She welcomes him in and leads the way to the kitchen where a lady she hires is already waiting to start the class. She hands each of them a bowl and reveals that they will be making pasta. She takes them through the process step by step, and Ethos is proving to be an amazing partner. Ethos brings up the conversation about the things she likes in a relationship. He's taking an interest in really knowing her because he has had issues with his ex, and he intends to make all necessary findings before delving into anything. Their meal gets cooked, and the Nuna serves them a bowl each. Ethos confesses he loves pasta to the point where he'll literally orgasm. Lauren laughs at him for making such a remark, and they soon continue in the line of their initial discussion. He shares his observation about her, and she bursts out laughing. He admits that he loves the time they are spending together. She looks at him romantically and grabs him for a quick kiss. Dhruva and Christian hang out again. This time, Christian goes the extra mile by introducing a bike ride to their picnic venue. They have fun while eating, and they soon start discussing the things they do for fun. He engages her in conversations as they get to unravel more about each other. She thinks he's quite similar to how she is, and confesses that she didn't want to leave the day they had that drawing class. The both of them stare into each other's eyes with smiles on their faces. She pulls in close, and they lock their lips in a kiss for some minutes. They didn't want the day to end, but it had to anyway. Christabel texts Lorenzo smiling as she invites him to come over for a swim at the villa. He promises to make it a date. The getaway will be coming to an end in a few days, and things are looking promising for Dhruva as she spends more time with Christian, and they share lots of loved-up moments. The ladies hang out at an outdoor restaurant and gush over the beautiful waterfall in the vicinity, which looks like something from a fairy tale. The waiter serves them drinks and their scripts. Now they are faced with the task of choosing which suitors have the potential of becoming something more to find love. They throw the floor open to Dhruva, who admits that she has had amazing dates. She likes all three of the guys though. Christian pulls her heart. She was a bit giddy on their dates because it just felt so natural. She thinks with Christian she'd be breaking her old patterns, and she's quite certain he might be the first guy she will be introducing to her parents. Christabel, on the other hand, thinks Lorenzo is her first choice. He's super attractive and so much fun to be with. She further reveals that Brandon was such a surprise for her, and she looks forward to spending more time with him. It is Lauren's turn, and she shares that Alessandro is so smooth, but then it is just a fling, so she thinks it's going to be Ethos for her. She loves the fact that they were able to just sit, talk, and really get to know each other, coupled with the fact that Ethos travels and speaks so many languages. She loves that he can cook, but then there's a lot of hesitation in her because there's a lot of fear that goes into sharing with people, and also, she's scared to navigate the next steps. After their hangout, Christabel and Dhruva spend some alone time together. Christabel reveals that the more time she spends with Lorenzo, she finds it difficult to stop thinking about him. Dhruva is so excited for her because she feels like Lorenzo is easygoing. Christabel inquires about Christian, and just then, Lorenzo and his co-captain Nicola walk in to join the ladies. They all exchange pleasantries and share the bottle of limoncello before Christabel and Lorenzo walk off, leaving the other two to have some time to themselves. Dhruva and Nicola engage in a little chat and even share drinks. The atmosphere between them gets tense, and the duo engages in some romantic moments together. The ladies are left with 2 days before their getaway in Rome comes to an end, and the situation between Dhruva and Christian has gotten quite complicated, and she needs to sort it out real fast. In the meantime, Christabel and Lauren are whisking her away for a vineyard birthday surprise. They blindfold her and lead her to a winery. Dhruva is excited and thanks her newly found friends for the amazing surprise. They unravel one more surprise as they usher in the guys to come join them. The 3 pairs of couples spend some alone time together engaging in some activities in the winery. Christabel and Brandon spend some time harvesting some grapes, while Dhruva and Christian are mashing the grapes in a bowl with their feet. Christabel and Brandon share what parenting was like with their parents and the lessons they have learned from their parents' marriage and system of upbringing. Christabel listens and stares at Brandon lovingly with a smile on her face. When they are done with their exercise, Christian helps Dhruva get out of the basin and assists her in wiping her feet. She stares into his face and plants an appreciative kiss on his lips. Christian isn't expecting them to have the kind of connection they have, but then it's happening. He asks what she thinks about being in an exclusive relationship. He wants to make sure that they are on the same page, as monogamy means a lot to him. This is because when he is into a person, he goes all the way in, but then he wouldn't want to make the mistake of engaging in a one-sided affair. Lauren and Ethos are sharing a few drinks, and she makes some revelations about her family and her disabled twin brother. She feels scared and uncertain about the next chapter of her life, but she's willing to give it a try. Later on, they all gather to eat together around the table. They spend the rest of the time eating, gaming, and having lots of fun. Day 9 of their Italian escapade has been filled with romance, wine, and possibility for the ladies. Lauren has let her guard down with Ethos, but there's an uncertainty if his offer will continue their journey together or send them packing. Brandon and his charm seem to have won over Cristobal, but then it is still unknown if Lorenzo is totally out of the picture. Then there is Druva, who has to decide if she is ready to be honest with Christian about her unexpected night with Nicola. Christian interrupts the meal, requesting to steal Druva away for some moments. He takes her to the storage room, where he has arranged for a cake and flowers scattered on the table. He wishes her a happy birthday, and she kisses him, appreciating him for his kindness. She finally decides to come clean and confesses that she has been seeing other men. But then she realizes that she wants to be with him and not anyone else. Christian feels hurt that she has been kissing other men since they met, and he can't hide his displeasure as it's written all over his face, even though he is silent. When the ladies gather together, Druva informs them that she told Christian the truth, and he's really unhappy. Now she feels worried that she might have ruined things with him. They have all had experiences that have taught them quite a lot about themselves and their relationships. However, while discussing their men, they realize Lauren has been rather too quiet. They request to know what's going on with her, and she reveals that Ethos asks her to go to Tuscany with him. She's still considering it because she has never dated anyone who matches her work-level ethics, and Ethos says he's a workaholic just like her. Lauren still wants to brood over the invite and thinks properly, as she wouldn't want to allow herself to get hurt, so she needs to be careful. She starts tearing up as she bears her heart out to Druva and Cristobal. They advise her to do as her heart tells her to do. Their last day in Rome finally arrives, and they get to decide how their stories will end. Rome has taught Cristobal how to open her heart again, but she doesn't know if it is Brandon or Lorenzo who has swept her off her feet. She hangs out with Lorenzo one more time, and she informs him what she has been like since she came to Rome and the role he played in changing her mind. He reveals that it's been a long time since he got romantically involved with a girl until she came along and made that part of him come out. They look into each other's eyes lovingly and kiss. Lorenzo wears a necklace he bought for her. Lauren, on the other side, may have struggled to let down her walls, but she's finally ready to put work on pause and escape to Tuscany with Ethos. They meet up, and she shares the lessons she has learned in her short stay in Rome. She confesses that she's terrified at the risk she's taking. It feels scary because it means more than just going to Tuscany for her. Ethos assures her that he is very certain that he wants to be with her if she lets him, and he appreciates her for opening up to him. She laughs and accepts to be with him. He grabs her for a kiss, and almost immediately her phone starts ringing, but she ignores it and continues kissing him. Druva's ending is yet to be revealed. She sits in her room, sending apologies to Christian, whom she hasn't heard from. She regrets her actions and requests for them to meet one last time at least. She arrives at the venue and waits anxiously for Christian, wondering if she will have the chance to tell him how she feels. Her phone beeps and reveals a text from him apologizing to her. Druva walks away until suddenly another text from Christian comes in stating that it took him a while to get there. She turns around excitedly and runs to meet him. He admits that their conversation at the winery was a lot, but she needs to let it go as he intends to move on with her. Dhruva feels relieved because she was scared not knowing how Rome was going to be, and she didn't think she was going to meet someone she would eventually like so much. She explains the pressures she has been going through with her parents, and then meeting someone she will love was one thing she didn't expect. They sort out their differences and settle it with a kiss. She invites Christian to come meet her parents in Boston when they are ready. The story ends with the three ladies finding love where they least expect it to come from.